Hey everyone, it's Matt from The Homemade Chef. Thank you so much for following us at homemade-chef.com and of course on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. It's been a long time. I haven't seen you guys in a while and I'm really excited to share a new recipe with you. So I really love appetizer parties or cocktail parties, and one of the things that I always find at a cocktail party is that there's just never enough food. It doesn't matter how much you serve, there's never enough to really make you feel full. And so I thought, wouldn't it be fun if you could make an appetizer that was meat and potatoes? So today for what I'm making for you is my pork latke bites. And I know what you're thinking, I know that pork isn't kosher, but this is delicious. So what I have here is a whole pork tenderloin that I've tied with some rosemary sprigs on it. And what I'm gonna do is just pat this dry so that it roasts instead of steams. Just pat it dry. And then I'm gonna coat it with a little bit of olive oil so that it cooks beautifully. Just right down the center. Just use your hands to sort of smear, very important culinary term, smear the oil around. And then I'm going to coat this with some salt and pepper. I want it to have lots of good flavor. And don't be afraid to use salt. You want to salt it all around. I know it seems like a lot of salt. I'm probably using a teaspoon, maybe a teaspoon and a half, but this is a big piece of meat. So just coat it with salt. And then the same thing with pepper. Have a little heat all around. And I've set this pork tenderloin on a baking rack over top of a cookie sheet. And so that's beautifully coated. And what I'm gonna do is put this in the oven at 350 degrees, and this is gonna roast for, I'm gonna say 30, maybe 40 minutes until it's about 145 degrees Fahrenheit, and then we'll take it out and let it rest. So let's put this in the oven. And while that cooks, let's make our latkes. So what I have here is 3 small russet potatoes that I've peeled, and what I actually did is shredded them in the food processor. You could do this on a box grater if you don't have a food processor, but look at how easy that is to just put them in the food processor and let it shred them for you. So the first thing I want to do is get as much water out of these as I can, and that's actually one of the reasons you want to use a russet potato versus another potato, is russet potatoes don't have as much water in them. So I'm just going to put this on a clean towel and fold it up and twist it like a candy. And then here's your workout for the day. Just squeeze. See all that water coming out? Ooh. As much of the water as you can get out of the potato. And this is the same way you'd make any latke for Hanukkah or for any other Jewish holiday, but I really think that the combination of the latke and the pork gives you that sort of meat and potato feel, which is great for a cocktail. All right, whew. Got my workout in, so just get all the potato into a big bowl, and you can see how nicely shredded it is, and it's nice and dry. Now what we're gonna do is whisk up an egg, just a regular whole egg. Just add that right in. And then what I have here are some sliced scallions or green onions. This is about 2 scallions that I thinly sliced on the bias just so they look nice. That's gonna add some heat, some delicious flavor to the latkes. I'm gonna take more and top the pork latke bites with them when they're done. And I'm going to take about a teaspoon of salt and about half a teaspoon of pepper. And then clean hands, a chef's best friend. I'm just going to get in here and mix this all together. And what we're going to have is the perfect consistency for latkes. And if this is not sticky enough, if it's not going to hold together like a dough, then you may want to add another egg. I'm going to let this rest for a few minutes, and I think that this might actually need 1 more egg. But what we're going to do is we're going to let it rest for a couple of minutes. Don't worry, with the onions, the potatoes will turn a little bit pink, but they won't turn brown. And then we'll go ahead and fry these up, and when the pork is ready, we'll serve these. We'll be right back. Hey everybody, welcome back. Okay, so what I have here is some oil, just regular canola oil, heating in a pan, and you want to be really careful whenever you're heating oil, but it's just starting to bubble, and I did end up adding one more egg. And so what I'm going to do is just form the potatoes into little patties. Just form them together with your hands, about that big, about the size of what the pork is going to be, and then just slip these into the oil, your little latkes. And what I'm going to do is fry these for a couple minutes on each side until they're nice and crispy. And then, I know that you always think that you can't make latkes ahead of time. Well, you can, a little bit. So they will stay warm for about 30 minutes to an hour if you set a cookie sheet, a baking rack over a cookie sheet, and put it in a 200-degree oven. And so that's how I'm going to do these, is I'm just going to form these up and put them in the oven and keep them warm. And once the pork is ready, we'll slice it, top it with some cherry jelly, which is going to be super delicious with the pork and the rosemary, and then serve these up as a delicious appetizer. We'll see you then. Hey everybody, welcome back. Okay, so the pork has been beautifully roasted, and I let it rest for a couple of minutes and sliced it into thin slices. And now I'm going to start with a glass of wine. This is a cocktail party after all. This is a Malbec, but any wine that you like would do. Just make sure it's really delicious. That's gonna go so good with this pork. So I took the latkes, and what I'm gonna do is just put a little thin slice of pork on top, and a little bit of cherry preserve. And then I want it to look really beautiful on the plate. So just some really thinly sliced scallions. You could use chives. And there you have it. Pork latke bites. Let's try one of these and see how they are. This one right here. And what I like about these, especially for a cocktail party, is that they stand up on their own, so you can definitely hold it. That's delicious. And some wine. You get the rosemary, you get the cherry, the latke, the onion. This is absolutely delicious. Your guests are going to love this. I promise. You can't make them fast enough. Enjoy. Bon appetit.